Twinmotion Guru here again with another tutorial today with this really amazing exterior project. I leave the link of this project to be downloaded in the description. And here the final shot will be from this angle. Of course, this is just composed with the default settings. In fact, as you can see, I have nothing special here. But before it, of course, it's important to characterize everything here. So let's start with the materials, and in particular here I'm just applying some glasses, maybe with this low values. Here for the grass, of course I'm using a new fantastic 3D grass that is, in my point of view, amazing. I'm just scaling it a little bit, increasing the fuzziness, the color amount not 100% because it's too much in my point of view. The tint could be a little bit darker. Okay, something like that. So I have some diversification here. Color variant, I think, yeah, as you can see, it's always good to have this kind of value a little bit higher. Then let's proceed with maybe the walls. Here in Twinmotion we have the wall covering here. Yeah, exactly. That is amazing. And in particular here we have, yeah, maybe this one that can be applied here. Maybe I can also decrease a little bit the color, having it something like that. So let me see if it's correctly shown here, maybe with the workspace. I'm just increasing a little bit the scale factor, okay? Oh, same thing here applied. Yeah, I think it's okay. Well, the frames needs to be, in my point of view, wood. So here in Twinmotion, or maybe I can pick something from my Twinmotion library. You can find, of course, my library inside the Twinmotion Masterclass. You have access to a lot of really amazing materials and 3D models that can be used for all your projects. But let me just see if everything is perfectly working. I think so. Here for the railings, a little bit of roughness, not normal, the metallic, something like that. Or at least, if you prefer, you can go inside Megascan surfaces, metal there. And here you will find a lot of great assets, as you can see with all the normals. But in my point of view here, I want something a little bit darker, like this. Okay, maybe less rough or more rough. Okay, and yeah, I think all the other elements got the same textures. Okay, so it's perfect. Okay, let me just see if everything is working. Well, here for the exterior walls, I need something from the concrete menu. The concrete, I always use something like that because it's amazing in my point of view. Look at this. Yeah, maybe you could increase a little bit the scale like this. That's quite good, I think. Let me just add something here, maybe inside materials. Where is ground, man-made? I can do with. Let me just see. I just want something like some stones. Let me just see stone if I can find something. Oh yeah, maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one. It's not well positioned. Okay, right now with the word space is perfect. And lastly, maybe some asphalt here, but it's not that relevant because from this angle we won't see a lot of asphalt textures. So for now it's good. And I think that for the materials, it's everything is fine. Yeah, maybe I have to cut a little bit the the grass because I don't want it to be seen on the asphalt, but we'll add another object there, and I think that we can start doing exactly that thing. And in particular, inside my user library, in particular here inside the auto, so the vehicles, you will find a lot of 3D elements, for instance, like this Tesla. I don't know if you like it, this model, but here in the scene, I think it's quite good. As you can see, I'm covering the grass on the floor, and I think it's quite good here. Maybe here it could be useful for us to start working with the media preview mode in order to perfectly see what's happening in the scene, in particular because here I want to add some trees to create a natural background. So right now I'm working with just a single screen, but normally this situation could be useful or more useful if you have a second monitor. But let's say that right now it's okay like this. So I'm just taking from my user library, and in particular from the Max tree folders, and in particular the trees, some, oops, I right clicked something. I think I'm lost. Okay, I'm here again. So for the trees, I think I'm picking something in like maybe this one. Let me just see what's happening here. If I'm just placing it here, well, it's a little bit big, but I will just scale it like this. Well, let me just, for the ambience, maybe activate right now the parallelism because I want it to be perfectly vertical. Okay, something like that. I just want, okay, something like this. For this model, maybe I'm just positioning it here. And just scale it a little bit, maybe rotating it. Okay, until I reach something like this. Okay, or maybe I just can place it here. Yeah, maybe here is better. Let me just see. Okay, because I want to see some Tesla here. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm just scale it a little bit more. In the XYZ, I can put 0 on this scale, not scale, sorry, the rotation, because I want it to be perfectly vertical, and right now I think it is. Let me just maybe rotate it a little bit more. Okay, like this. And then I'm adding some trees on the background in order to create some composition. In particular, maybe I'm just creating something like that. Oh, well, this is too much. Here, maybe. And then maybe another model like this one placed here. Let me just see if just by raising it up like this, it's working, I think so. Same thing with another model. Let me just place it something like okay, here. As you can see, the preview mode is amazing. It's something that you should definitely use in order to create your compositions. As I said a moment ago, it's, I think, better if you use it in a second monitor, but if you don't have such a thing, of course, you can just use it here. I'm just placing all different trees because I think it's really important to create some diversification here. So I'm just placing it here. Maybe I'm creating a copy of it because I want to cover this area. As you can see right now, it's completely white, and right now with the tree placed here, it's good. So maybe I'm just adding different kind of tree. Let me just see if I can see something similar. Oh yeah, like this one, for instance. So I'm just placing some of these trees. Okay, like this, because as you can see, I'm creating some variants for these trees. I'm just placing them something like this. This alnus, I think it's quite good. Let me just adding this one maybe, because it got really nice leaves, I think, like this. Yeah, maybe I can just copy this one and adding it here to create, as you can see, a better vegetation here. But as as for the front part of this render, maybe I can add another tree, maybe in order to be seen here. So in this position, something like that. Well, I think that I want it to be something like this. Something like this, but this one in particular. Oh, I just can't click this tree. Why can't I click this tree? Okay. I need it to be maybe here to create, as you can see, a sort of climax, a high climax. So like this. This tree, I think, could be placed here and then copied. And of course, rotated to create some variance and then scale it a little bit. So like this. Okay, I think that the composition is quite good. Yeah, maybe I can add another tree here, like this. Okay, and then maybe I can create or add a tree that that is showing from this position. So maybe I can add, for instance, something like that. Let me see where it's appearing. Okay, like this, and then I'm just rotating it a little bit in order to, yeah, have an effect like this for the camera. That in my point of view, it's always good to have. Let me just see. I just don't care if right now the tree is floating, but or is flying. But here I'm just creating my composition, and I think that the composition right now it's quite good. Let me just group them all together. Move to a new container called trees, so everything is perfectly in order, and then I think I can move on with the bushes and all the little vegetation here directly on the garden. So again, from here, maybe you can use, of course, the how do I say, the Megascans library, that is amazing and it's fantastic. But here, only because I have access to a lot of Megascans 3D elements, not Megascans, sorry, Max 3 elements, I can just use them because they are fantastic and amazing. For instance, these one are incredible in my point of view. The quality of these models, as you can see from here, is quite impressive. I really like these really yellow flowers, and you can create some variations only by placing different elements directly on the scene. Yeah, maybe this is not placed correctly. I should do something like that, or maybe just place it here on the corner and then modify the composition. Same thing applies with the odd elements, so something like that. Maybe this one could be, as you can see from the preview menu, be scaled down a little bit. Same thing applies here for this model, and I think it's quite good. But we want to create something more, so I'm just adding some of this one, maybe some flowers, and in particular this one, to create some contrast, because as you can see, these are well, white flowers. Maybe we can add other I think pink flowers or something like that, with different colors, only to create some diversification here on our scene. So this one could be placed maybe here. I'm just adding all the flowers. I always keep my menu mode where I'm going. My preview mode here, only to perfectly see what's happening, where I'm positioning my models, and this is quite fundamental in order to create a good composition. So something like this, and as you can see, I'm covering this block, this surface, and I think it's quite good. Let me just add more of them maybe here. And then finally, I'm just adding some details, maybe here, maybe here, maybe this one here, and that's it. Then I can select other elements, something like helium. Yeah, maybe some helium, because they are quite nice to be shown on a scene. So maybe here, as you can see, we have the effect directly projected there on the Tesla, so I think it's quite good. But right now, let me just move this here, because I want to see it as well. So maybe here, okay. So I can also add all of this fantastic flower maybe here on this hole. So let me just take maybe this one. I'm just placing it here. Okay, I don't see it very well here, maybe because we are with the preview node, but I'm just adding this other element, and maybe I can also add something like this here, something like this here, and that's quite good. Yeah, maybe I can also modify the composition once I enter directly into the media mode. And as you can see, I have characterized the garden here. Maybe I can do exactly the same thing done with the tree here. Maybe here on this side of the on the image, on the composition. So I can, I think, add the same element placed maybe here, and just creating a copy of it, and maybe place it something like there. And as you can see right now, I see something coming from these amazing flowers. Yeah, and same thing for this one, but this maybe could be placed a little bit downer. Yeah, maybe here. So I'm just creating this kind of composition in my point of view. Maybe placing it here. Okay, and then I'm just adding some flowers. Let me just place them inside a new container, medium size. Okay, and then some small size elements, and in particular, yeah, this one I was saying about pink elements. So for instance, like this. Let me just place them all, because I want to see their real dimensions. Okay, like this. But I think that I can scale it a little bit and place it maybe here. Okay, and maybe I can create some composition of this, and maybe this one could be scaled a little bit more, like this. Okay, and the same thing, of course, applies with to all these elements. So maybe this one will be placed here, this one here, this one here, and so on, until, of course, you reach the results you prefer. So maybe this one here, or here, and maybe some directly inside directly on your garden. So maybe like this, and so on. Maybe here I'm just adding the same model applied here to create the final composition here, also in this angle of the garden. So here, like this, and I think it's quite good. Well, of course, here you can increase the quality or the how do I say it? The details of your scene, applying all the elements directly from Megascans. In particular, from the 3D assets inside nature. I think tree, trunk. No, maybe not trunk. I think root. Well, you could also add some roots here on your, or maybe stump. Yeah, old stump. You can add some of these elements here in order to create some detail, and then of course you can place some of your flowers directly there in order to create such a, I think, a great composition. Let me just see. Oh yeah, this flower needs to be placed maybe here. And then you can just close your media preview mode and then start working directly here on the scene. So maybe I'm just grouping them all together, maybe little or small size, okay. And then I'm just starting with the rendering engine. So I'm working with Lumen today with this composition. I'm just applying the Lumen engine from here. I have already activated the parallelism. Vignetting could be forced to 0 because right now I think it's not that necessary. Composition is not very relevant right now because the image is already composed. Fog would be applied in a second moment, but for now I'm just adding an HDRI. And in particular, from the outdoor, today I'm using, I think this one because it's really amazing. I'm just applying it here. I'm modifying the intensity to 500 because I really like this kind of composition. Rotation, let me just search for a great okay, because I want to see something for like this. For the details, I'm not modifying anything from now. For now, from the camera, it's really important for me too. As you can see, this is a little bit overexposed, so exposure 0. White balance, let me just see. Yeah, I think 6K 6,000, sorry, Kelvin could be useful for us. And as you can see, the composition is creating without me doing a lot of different things or what I've done. I think I misclicked on the white balance. Okay, let me just select the 3D grass because I think I want to see the final the leaves coming from the asphalt. So I'm just cutting it off. I'm just back on the cut default values. On the local exposure, shadows, for me, it's not to be modified, but only the highlights, because if you just disable it, as you can see, it is a little bit blurry in my point of view. Maybe just enabling it and decreasing it a little bit, you would only, let's say, darken the sky, and like this, I think it's quite good. The only one thing that I also need to add here are some trees for the reflections, and in particular the reflections on these windows, these glasses. So I'm just backing again on the preview mode. I'm just placing it the media. I'm just copying this tree, and then I'm trying to just place it in order to see it directly from the window reflected. I can't say it. Okay. Okay, let me just move it a little bit like this. Okay. Okay. Like this. Here. Okay, so I have the reflection here with this tree. I can maybe also add another tree here in order to create a different reflection with a different kind of tree directly here for this other glass. Yeah, maybe here. And then I'm just copying it again or duplicating it. Why can't I select it? Yeah, maybe because it's a little bit small. I'm doing the exact same thing here for this other window. So I'm just oh, why can't I say it? Okay. No, there. Okay, and perfect. As you can see, right now I have my reflection. Oh no, I lost it. Okay, nice. Very nice, like this. Perfect. As you can see, it's perfectly seen. And then lastly, let me just select this stupid tree. I can't select it. I don't know why I can't select this stupid tree. Okay, like this. I'm just copying it and I'm placing it here only to, let's say, okay, like this. As you can see right now, I'm just adding something like, okay. Yeah, I think like this is okay. As you can see, I'm covering the HDRI here with some trees, and in my point of view, it's something really important not to have strange effects directly on the glasses. But after that, there are some other things that maybe we can do. Yeah, maybe on the lens I can increase a little bit the sharpness here in the scene. Yeah, maybe I can do it in a second moment. But for now, the only one thing I can modify are the saturation that, in my point of view, is always to be a little bit decreased. And here the contrast must be modified like this. I want it to be a little bit more contrast. But maybe a little bit of fog could be useful. 15, 25. Yeah, let me just try it. And then for the final shot, let me just modify the accurator, shadow of course, improve the quality of the reflections and the bounce count, and for now I think it's okay. Let me just export it and then back with the final shot. So the rendering has finished. This is the final result, and I think it's quite good. Yeah, look at this amazing grass. This new 3D grass from Twinmotion is amazing. I love it. I just fell in love with this amazing material when I just saw it the first time, and it's amazing. And yeah, this is the final rendering. I think it's quite good. We could maybe increase a little bit the fog and activate the DOF, because in my point of view here, the DOF, it's quite useful because we have a lot of great elements here that could be a little bit shaded. Yeah, like this. I think it's good. Then I said the fog could be like 40. Let me try with 40. I could also decrease a little bit more the highlights because I want it to be darker or bluer if you prefer. Image one, let me just see if I can change something more. Yeah, maybe the reflection of it. And this, let me just select it. I can increase the quality of reflections, maybe decrease this color. Let me just see. Oh, not like this. It's too much in my point of view. Let me just okay, do something like that. Okay, Let me just back to the image again. Well, I think it's quite good. Yeah, I could add maybe some details, some vegetation here as well on that wall, but in my point of view, it's quite good rendered, created in really, I think, half an hour with the Lumen engine. I think it has created in a couple of seconds, but I will demonstrate it to you just now. Let me just see if I can modify anything else. No, let me just export it for another time. And right now I'm not cutting the video in order to let you see the how fast the Twinmotion is to render a really nice and easy scene like this one. As you can see, it's written 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and so on. But yeah, in really a couple of seconds, the final result is here. This is the previous one. This is the new one. Yeah, I think that the fog value it's too much. Maybe I should switch it to the previous value. But as you can see, the DOF here is great. I really like it. So let me just back here for the final shot with, I don't remember what was the previous value. Maybe 25 or it was 15. I just don't remember. Let me just try with 15. And then, yeah, maybe the only thing here about the DOF, it's too much powerful. Well, no, it's okay like this. And then let me just export it for the final time. And in a couple of seconds, it will be generated. And here is the final result. This is the previous one. This is the newest. And I think it's perfectly working. I really like it. The composition is quite good. Everything has been placed manually. Nothing so that's difficult to do. The trees, I think, are working very nicely. Last, you could, of course, from this one, maybe copying it and switch to the path trace arranging if you want. They should share the same parameters here. Maybe you only have to modify the intensity of the HDRI, but all the other elements and parameters should remain the same. Well, I just figured out right now that I missed the decals. Yeah, you could also add some decals here because are really important. So I'm just collapsing hierarchy. These are trees that needs to be placed here. So creating a container called decals. Right click, set active container, and then I'm just adding some decals all around the project. So nothing that difficult to do. So I'm just where they are, the stains. Oh yeah, this one. So this one here. This one here, this one here, and here, and again, and again, and again. So you are just adding a lot of decals all around your scene without having the worry to creating a mess on your project because you want. You are just adding default elements that in a couple of seconds will be modified. So no worries for this. You only have to place them correctly, like this. Yeah, maybe I will modify them in a moment, and then we will change their parameters really in a couple of seconds. Let me just wait. Let me just place them all here. No, not the same. Yeah, maybe this one here. And this here as well, maybe rotated because I don't want it to be exactly as the first one, and this one here. So maybe here there are 5 of them. So this one will be moved to another container because I want it to be a little bit different. Yeah, same thing here applies for this 4 or 5. Move to a new container, okay. And then I'm just selecting them all because they will share for sure the same depth parameter because I want it to be perfectly Okay, centered. I will also modifying the opacity. Oh, I missed two of them. Modifying the depth and the opacity like this. Okay. And I think it's quite good. Oh yeah, here I think I have the depth value a little bit big. So this two as well from here needs to be moved. Okay, like this. Okay, awesome. Then let me just back here on the final shot. As you can see right now, we can see some really nice decals. Yeah, maybe this ones should be, yeah, maybe like this. I can't barely see the decals from this wall. Well, like this is okay, and here I think they are quite good. So let me just try it with the decals on. So here is the final result with decals. No, this is the previous one, and this is the one with decals. And yeah, as you can see, the result is completely different. Just see here. Look at here. Here, without, with. Decals are amazing. Oh yeah, here I missed to modify the position of a decal. But as you can see, the decals are fundamental for all your rendering. So never forget about them because they are fundamental. And lastly, I'm just rendering this one with yeah, I think high value, because with the medium values you won't see clearly the decals. And with these parameters you could also, let me just check for the effects. Okay, you could also create a video with this. Maybe I can yeah, the video maybe with the medium quality, but I think that the final result could be something that really amazing. Let me just export also the path tracer mode, and then let's just compare them in a moment. So after a couple of seconds here again, we can compare the different results. This is the one with the Lumen engine that is, in my point of view, great, and this is with path tracer. Well, the one with this is the path tracer, this is the Lumen, path tracer, Lumen. Yeah, we can clearly notice that with the path tracer, the 3D grass is darker and more qualitative in my point of view. But and also, yeah, the fog through the leaves, it's a little bit more qualitative as well. But in general, they are quite similar. Yeah, with the path tracer, the reflections are, I think, better, but there is, I think, no big differences between them. So you can also, well, also the reflections here on the Tesla, as you can see. But if you're using Lumen, it's not that different at the final result. So I think that this is the end for this video, and thank you for watching until the very end. And I remember that I have created a Twinmotion masterclass, and if you need and if you wanted to upgrade your skills with Twinmotion, just have a look on the website. I'll leave you the link in the description. That said, I wish you a good day or evening, and see you very soon. Ciao.